Imagine getting a phone call in the middle of the night that your child has been in a fatal car accident. The number one reason for teenage deaths is car accidents. Good evening, everyone. My name is Carla Vasquez, and I am the mother of two boys. Teenage boys, I should say. One of them which is in the process of getting his driver's license in a couple of days. I'm a very concerned parent, and there are a few things or few changes that I believe should be made. And I hope you have a chance to listen to me tonight, and also make that pledge, the pledge that I will be asking at the end of my presentation. Tragic car accidents involving teenage drivers are much too common in all parts of the United States. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, motor vehicle crashes are the leading cause of death for U.S. teens. The best way to prevent teenage auto accidents is to raise the age for full driving privileges to 18. And that, my friends, I would definitely have to agree. There are too many motor vehicle accidents, deaths, and injuries involving teenage drivers. Teenage drivers represent a major hazard. According to the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, 59% of teenage passenger deaths in 2010 occurred in vehicles driven by another vehicle. Teenagers account for 10% of motor vehicle crash deaths. And I have a chart here showing statistics as to what I have just discussed. And we are talking about at least 3,115 teen crash deaths in 2010 alone. As if you can see, you can see the highlighted figures below. And the rest is just passenger vehicle occupant is 11%, pedestrians accounts for 7%, and so forth. But once again, the average is 10% in 2010 alone. Evidence shows that the younger the driver, the greater the risk. According to the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, 16-year-olds have the highest percentage of crashes involving speeding, the highest percentage of single vehicle crashes, and the highest percentage of crashes with driver error. USA Today reports that 16 to 17-year-olds are 4 times more likely to be involved in fatal crashes than older drivers. And here is another chart of statistics that I have. Teen auto fatalities. As you can see, 16-year-olds run at least 35 crashes average alone in the number of crash involvements per million miles driven. And here are once again the statistics by age, and the older you get, the lesser the amount. And we will be discussing a few topics as to why that is. There are 2 major causes of the problem. One of the causes of motor vehicle fatalities among teenage drivers is night driving. For 16-year-olds, the odds of a fatal collision triple between 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. Reports a study by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. Nighttime driving is less safe for everyone, but it becomes particularly dangerous when combined with a young driver's inexperience and reduced inability to gauge risk. A second cause of accidents is the presence of teenage passengers in the car. We all know what it is like to drive with friends in the car. The stereo up, cell phones ringing, everyone laughing and having a great time. Unfortunately, all of these factors create distractions that too often result in accidents, injury, and death. And here are a couple pictures of what I mean by distraction. This, to me, my friends, is a big no-no. Unfortunately, cell phone use, having the cell phone in the car, enjoying them, having a good time, teenage boys, actually causes, in other words, it's unsafe, unfortunately. According to the Good Housekeeping article, for 16 and 17-year-olds, carrying just one passenger increases their risk of dying in a crash by almost 50%. Having 3 or more riders triple the risk as compared with driving alone. And once again, here are teenagers, looks like having just a good time in the car. There are two major steps we can take to solve this problem. First, we need a national policy that no one can receive a learner's permit until age 16, and no one can receive full driving privileges until 18. Now, I know that's common for some states, but to other states, if I'm not mistaken, North Dakota has a learner's permit policy of age 16. This will give 16-year-olds more time to gain more driving experience before having an unrestricted license. It will also allow them to reach a stage of brain development where they are better able to handle the risk and responsibility of driving, according to Dr. Jay Guide, Chief of Brain Imaging and Child Psychiatry at the National Institute of Mental Health. These are pictures that we want to see. Good drivers. Drivers that are concentrated, especially at the age of 16. I'm sorry, it's the one over here. And if you have another passenger, you want to make sure that other passenger takes driving just as serious as the driver. Second, we need to restrict nighttime driving so as to keep younger drivers off the road when the roads are riskiest. Teenagers often engage in risk-taking behaviors at night and may less often be adult supervised, which that tends to happen a lot. A lot of the times parents, once their child gets that driver's license, off the child goes or teenager goes. Of course, not supervised because the child now has or the teenager now has his or her driver's license. Some states have tried to address this problem by banning teenagers from driving after midnight or 1 a.m. But as the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety reports, these laws do not go far enough. And unfortunately, that is a true fact and a true statement. So, there is no way to solve all the problems we encounter on the road, but we can definitely do something to help save the lives of younger drivers and to make the roads safer for all of us. And this indeed is something that we need to teach our kids or our teenagers. I urge you all to think about what you have heard today. Parents, let's be better leaders and take a pledge today to do everything in our power to change the age for full driving privileges to 18 before someone we know becomes a statistic or a face on a memory wall. Is waiting a couple more years worth the lives of our young teen drivers? Only you can answer that. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation.